sides to back them up, with Rahul Reddy getting a 2023 OCIC Top 4, 2019 EUIC Top 8, and 2 sets of World's Top 16. I mean, that must feel pretty good.
I mean, you've got to really wonder, when is Rahul going to start making these regular regional wins? That's the key. And so frequently making top finishes, got to try and convert it. Maybe this is the event to do it. Rahul has started traveling all around the world to increase those opportunities to learn, get new life experiences, as he said in his interview earlier, and hopefully take one of those big wins to guarantee a spot in Anaheim.
Yeah, joining us from the USA, of course, he has come a long way to join us today, but maybe a little bit closer to home, Stéphane Ivanoff over here, NAIC champion 2 years in a row, NAIC finalist in 2024 and OCIC finalist in 2019. That's a lot of international championships.
You know, a player is incredible when all we see is ICs and world finishes.
Oh, yeah.
Also multiple regionals, great finishes across the board, and also a very good deck creator, one that we always look out for when new formats come around as to what Stéphane has cooked up.
And let's have a look at what both players have cooked up right now. As you can see, Rahul is jamming with Lugia, and our lovely Stéphane is on Palkia. So this is one of our kind of caster predictions. I believe it was Shay. So let's see how we do here. Decks that, you know, can go either way. There's definitely some synergies here.
Well, straight away we see Rahul kicking off, going first, discarding an Archeops and doing that first deck check. Starting with the Iron Hands could work in favor, as it is possible to get a knockout on a Palkia for 3 prize cards.
Ooh.
Or even take out that Sobble, which could be a big challenge once it evolves into a Greninja EX.
Absolutely. I think you mean Froakie, my friend. We're getting
Froakie.
our water first partner Pokemon mixed up, but that's okay. We had Sobble a lot in the last format. You'll get. I'll let you off this time, Mike.
So Froakie, something we saw quite early on in the stream.
Yeah.
We were very fortunate to see Antoine Boulet on the stream playing the exact same list as Stéphane Ivanoff.
Yeah.
So we got a little hint into what Greninja EX can do. Lugia down, Archeops discard, and it's now over to Stéphane to try and work a great first turn in here and set up as wide as possible.
So Stéphane's going straight in with a Pokestop, and just starting with the Mew, we're going to have to see if Pokestop can unlock more potential for this turn. Only a Night Stretcher, but it can get the Duskull discarded with the Pokestop back. So maybe kind of that was a bit of a self-sufficient draw there into the Trekking Shoes. I think that was a Water-type Pokemon. It may have been the Froakie, but I didn't quite get a glance of what that card was. It is the Froakie. We're going to keep it.
Froakie will evolve into a Fighting-type Greninja EX.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty relevant.
Which is pretty special going into something like an Iron Hands, which is currently in the active. It will take another turn with that rare candy, but a great addition into this deck, especially as Palkia's biggest weakness is Lightning-type decks, and having a strong Fighting-type attacker allows you to work well into them.
Absolutely, it really does. It makes a big difference. And so both of these decks have Pokemon that are weak to one another. So I think it could go either way. Now, Stéphane's doing that all-important deck check. We're eyeing up all sorts of Pokemon, checking those lines. Yes, have we got enough Palkia? Have we got the Greninja? Yes, yes, amazing. And then it's consult the hand and see what's going to be ready to fill in those gaps. Well, we've got the Froakie in hand. We've got Greninja in hand. How are we going to get the kind of the journey of making those come together happen? Looks like we're going for an Origin form Palkia V to start off with.
While we watch these two players setting up in the top 4 match here, it's always interesting to look back at how they got here. We know they had a great Swiss, as you can see by their results just below their names at the top. But their quarterfinals were both interesting. We had a Miraidon EX into Rahul Reddy's Lugia V-Star, typically a very tough matchup. And then an Iron Thorns was beaten by Stéphane Ivanoff. So both of them taking out Lightning-type attackers, which are typically strong, into Palkia V-Star and Lugia V-Star.
Absolutely. It just goes to show that those international championship finishes were no joke. These guys are some tough cookies. Okay. I think we're contemplating the retreat there. Yep, into a Duskull. We'll still get Ampu very much, but not for quite as many prize cards as the Froakie or Palkia there. So over to Rahul's turn straight away with the Professor's Research. No more Archeops, Mike?
Could be a tough turn. Got the Lugia V-Star, trying to find a way to get another Archeops. It looks like it might have to go for this Pokestop, and there it is!
Archeops of the Pokestop, the forbidden fruit, taking your opponent's Pokestop, getting the second Archeops, summoning star. Here they are, the stars of the show. Archeops dos.
Well, how about that Pokestop? The best way to discard your deck if you don't want it, but sometimes it works in your favor. And now we see the energy acceleration that Iron Hands will be able to take a knockout here. And that's where you start to wonder, what's the next steps after that? This is a long game. It's not just going to be swinging straight away for Lugia V-Star and swinging to the finish. You got to work out a way to deal with large Palkia V-Star and that Greninja EX. So Stéphane Ivanoff put that Duskull forward, knowing this could be possible. And now it's down to Rahul to start setting up the board for the future.
I'm still reeling. I'm still reeling. The Archeops off the Pokestop.
And
have you ever seen
it?
Have you ever seen such a thing? Such a lucky turn of events when you think that Lugia does not have any recursion of Pokemon. That was so risky, but it paid off and we went for the Amp you very much.
I see a Greninja EX and a rare candy in hand here. So a response KO from Stéphane Ivanoff. There is the legacy energy to consider. So that makes it only worth one prize card. And for those of you who are unaware of Rahul's list, he does play a Raikou V as well as a Lightning Energy. So that's where you saw that Earthen Vessel off the Pokestop, synergizing nicely with that, just for the one extra Lightning, which allows you to attack with both Raikou V and Iron Hands in the same matchup. So this Greninja X will be a very useful attacker if both of those come into the fray.
It very much will be. And here we go. Restart for one card. So Mew's restart ability allows us to draw until we have 3 cards in hand. Can be very powerful in decks that kind of don't have much natural card draw. But Mew can also be a valid attacker a lot of the time. Here we are with the Origin Form Palkia V-Star. And looks like a contemplation on who to bring into the active, whether it's Greninja's turn to shine. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. Stéphane's nail polish, matching the sleeves once again, is everything.
Wow, we've got to see it now. Greninja EX taking a swing. Shinobi Blade. You may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
I'm very sorry, Mike. There's no energy on that there Greninja EX, my friend.
Have I just assumed there's going to be energy on there?
It was a pass.
That was a pass?
It was a pass. It was put a big threat with 310 HP into the active and pass.
That's not ideal, especially when you've got such good ways to get energy out of the Palkia deck. You've got the Iridas as well as the Earthen Vessel, and you've got the way you can discard it and use that rescue.
Oh no, Rahul goes for the Luminion boss for the Origin Form Palkia V. It's not looking good. Oh no, that weakness really coming into effect here. Rahul's going to be able to take 3 whole prize cards. Now that is a reason to say amp you very much.
3 prize cards with a 1 prize card Pokemon in the active due to that legacy energy.
Oh, you're just full sending there. That is min-maxing that Iron Hands. You're getting full value for minimum risk. Love it.
And how different this would be if that Greninja X was able to attack. It's only 1 energy.
I know. 1 energy for 170 damage, and search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. I honestly don't think it could get much better. You might as well also put and grab yourself a slice of cake on the end of that, because it literally could not get much better.
And the Mezagoza flipping heads too. Rahul, everything going his way in this game.
You love to see it when Lugia shines like this. Really does go to show why it was good when it came out, has been good ever since. You just don't underestimate a deck like Lugia V-Star. When new cards come out, all you do is say, oh, is it good in Lugia? Oh, I'll tell you what, that's good in Lugia. Yeah, that A-Spec's pretty darn good in Lugia. It opens up so many new avenues.
And Lugia has consistently been one of the strongest decks when you're able to get the Summoning Star off on your second turn, and that is exactly what happened here. And now you can see Rahul able to attack over and over again with everything that's on board, doesn't need to worry about finding anything crazy, just has it there available. And there's that Earthen Vessel we mentioned. Another way to discard Archeops, but also a way to get that lightning energy for many other attackers. There you go, amp you very much for 3 prize cards. And now it is 1 prize card left for Rahul, hoping to try and find that final knockout. My goodness, Dust Noir can't even work now because there's only one prize card left.
I know, honestly, that is devastating. I suppose from Stéphane's point of view, there's no reason not to use the rare candy. We want to get cards out of our hands so that Mew can work. But also, Dust Noir is just a larger target. It's a bigger threat, and we can't amp you very much that.
Looks like Pheasantipede EX going to be taken off the Mesagoza. And, I mean, this is a challenging position to come back from. Disruption is possible, but with Lugia, you have your energy acceleration on board. It will just be then that there's no attackers on board that could knock out the Palkia V-Star or the Greninja EX.
Honestly, I'm not knowing. I'm struggling to see a way out of this for Stéphane. Now, yes, there's Pokemon with high HP around, but Rahul runs a lot of boss's orders. We know that typically nowadays Lugia is rather bossy like that. And so unfortunately, I feel like the Iron Hands with the extra lightning energy means that we can arm press a Palkia V-Star, which I'm not loving the kind of potential of, to be honest with you, Mike.
And with the gift energy on that Iron Hands, if you try and disrupt and knock it out, the gift energy will just bring it back up. There's a gift energy on the Lugia V-Star, so if you try and knock that out, even the Luminion has a gift energy on it, so you can try to disrupt, but gift energy will just bring you straight back in.
Yeah, Rahul's just gone, you know what? Well, if you're going to knock me out, I'm going to have a gift, and that gift is going to be up to 7 cards in my hand.
And draw for turn.
And draw for turn 8. Crazy, crazy numbers. But I think you're right. The biggest challenge for Stéphane here is not being able to use that Dusk Noir, because really that's what you're using alongside Palkia, alongside Greninja EX in order to deal more damage each turn.
Well, we knew Palkia V-Star had a chance to resurge back into the format thanks to Area Zero under depths. But what we've seen here with Stéphane Ivanoff is a completely different way to play it, similar to what we saw towards the end of last format, using that Dust Noir alongside Palkia V-Star. Doesn't even have an Area Zero under depths in it. So Palkia V-Star with the typical limit on 5 bench, and that damage output will be changed through the Dust Noir with the 13 damage counters and that Cursed Blast. But unable to do it now. This will be go to game 2.
That is it. The pressure was on. Rahul had that absolutely in his hands. And I reckon that Pokestop spelled it out. That Pokestop, you spun it and it spelled out W-I-N-N-E-R.
And that was the moment.
It was.
And it was.
Oh my gosh.
Because the fact that Rahul was able to get 2 Archeops out on his second turn, put him in a position to keep racing towards the finish line.
Mad.
Next game, I think we'll see a different person going first. Stéphane will be trying to go first
yeah,
here.
I imagine so.
And consequently, it will slow down Rahul's ability to get ahead. And we might
Why is
see
it
Stéphane
advantageous for Stéphane to go first here?
I mean, when you play against Lugia, you tend to want to go first just to stop them from getting Lugia V-Star into play. But the main thing is Palkia V-Star wants to evolve. You want that Greninja EX to be able to evolve as soon as possible. You want the Dust Noir to be able to evolve. And so you have plenty of Pokemon you want to get in play and try to evolve. The problem with those kind of decks is if you don't find that Pokemon on that first turn going first, you might end up getting behind as a consequence. So this is how the game went down.
Let's run that back.
And the shake to kick things off. And it was Rahul kicking the game off with an amazing start. Lugia V in play and that Pokestop to discard the Archeops.
I still can't believe my eyes.
You see that's the moment Rahul lit up and started working, and the Iron Hands starting in the active, what could have been one of the worst starts in many matchups, but here against Palkia works out as a great attacker.
Honestly, that Pokestop is the biggest, like, top 10 betrayals moment right there. Honestly, Stéphane's own Pokestop coming to bite them like that. Not what you want to see.
I mean, sometimes Pokestop can be one of the best milling cards for your opponent's deck in your favor. Get rid of important resources for them. On this occasion, it was the final option for Rahul. As we see, the Duskull start in the active versus the Iron Bundle. And it will be Stéphane kicking us off here with plenty of cards to play.
Let's go, Stéphane. Let's see how we go. We're gonna go for a little jog first. Let's jog through that deck and see what we got. Now, Stéphane does have some potential with this hand, but it's not exactly the fluffiest. There could be some better. There could really be quite a lot of better cards here. But we do have Ultra Balls. We have Ultra Balls multiple. So at least we can get started. And discarding energy isn't too awful for Stéphane. Remember, we've got that Star Portal V-Star ability, so we can get 3 energy back and pop it on a Pokemon. So energy's okay. We can say goodbye to it for now.
And with 4 night stretches, you can discard Pokemon, and it's almost the best place to leave them in that discard pile.
It's almost easier to stretch them out of there than the deck half the time, isn't it?
Little deck check here for Stéphane.
Very wise, as always. Some of our best players making sure they're taking their time, especially since we have the extra time in top 4 to be able to have a little look through and just make sure we've got those important lines. Obviously, Stéphane's going to be making sure we've got that lovely throw key through Greninja, seeing how much potential there is for Dusk Noir shenanigans. And yeah, Rahul sitting pretty with just the Iron Bundle right now. At least it isn't prized this game, and unfortunately it has given the Ghost away in that regard. So Stéphane now knows that that is an option, and that Rahul does have a little bit of gusting ability by discarding the Iron Bundle once it's on the bench.
Yeah, just trying to get a little glimpse of Rahul's hand, see what the potential is there. I think so much of this matchup, if you go first and you get set up well, it puts you in such a strong position. So we're really looking towards Stéphane now as to what is possible with these Ultra Balls, discarding a lot of cards, and that is the challenge with Ultra Ball. But if you can discard some energy along the way, it's not all too bad.
No, and we look at, ooh, I quite look at the like of that. I like this Squawkabilly potential here, actually. I know it seems scary because of Iron Hands, but if there's Squawkabilly potential up in here, I'm not upset about it. We're going for an Ultra Ball, another couple of cards that we're not going to be using, and then if you Squawk and Seize, absolutely. We're looking at a fresh hand. We said that that hand wasn't looking too great, and this is the kind of response that I would expect from Stéphane, being able to go, okay, no. We're just going to start again with that. I'll take a new one, please. Thank you.
Also, Lugia V-Star, if there's just the lone Lugia V down, you can often keep him out of the game by just targeting that specifically. The Palkia V-Star stops Rahul from overbenching, because if you overbench, you then increase the damage. But it will also, if you underbench and only have one Lugia V in play, and the Dusk Noir is potentially used, then that will completely ruin your chance of getting a Lugia V-Star off unless you find... is there a Thornton in Rahul's list? No Thornton.
No Thornton. So, I mean, yep, a buddy pop in here. Let's go wide. Let's keep going. Keep up the pressure. Again, Froakie, fantastic addition for this deck. Really, what Palkia needed in this format was partners. Palkia needed something to keep it going. And not only did we get that in Terapagos with making sure that your opponents are having these gigantic boards, so your damage output is heightened, but also it gives more potential to yourself with pairing it with cards like Greninja to pump out damage on some of your weaker matchups like Lugia.
Or even the Iron Dawns that was beaten in the previous round. I'm sure Greninja EX became a big part of that game. And the same thing would be true of Miraidon matchups, right? Having such a strong fighting type attacker that is also consistent. And there's the Pokestop.
Oh.
No, don't put the Pokestop in play.
Not them.
Not for Rahul.
No, please. No! Why? Pokestop, you're so mean!
Stéphane needs to have a chat with his Pokestops as they are being awful.
Yeah, I think we need to go. We need to go speak to the Pokemon Go casters about this one and ask why they're not working correctly. I think they've been misprogrammed. Now, we got a Tails on the Capturing Aroma, so we're looking for a basic Pokemon. Not too bad right now. I haven't got a glimpse of Rahul's hand. Is there a Lugia in there?
I think there was a Nest Ball, so that would be able to get a Lugia out.
Okay, so we're more so looking for Archeops here, you think?
Yeah, so there we go. There's that Lugia V coming down from the Capturing Aroma.
First piece of the puzzle, let's go. Now we need 2 Archeops. We want them in the discard pile. Let's see how Rahul can piece it together from here.
Interesting how the Nest Ball is in the list. Typically not a ball search used in Lugia due to how important it is to find cards into your hand rather than down onto your bench. But you can see the consistency it can provide in those early turns if you've got more ways to find your Lugia.
Absolutely. And it shows here. I mean, maybe 2 Lugia wasn't exactly what Rahul was looking for, but again, sometimes it's the safe way to go with Lugia, is just make sure you've got enough, especially since we're discarding things. Professor Sada swinging into action, discard the hand, and draw 7 new cards.
Yeah, with the Squawkabilly as well, that Nest Ball allowing you to discard still and keep swinging. There's the Pokestop. This time.
2 boss, and I think that was a gift energy. That's kind of big.
Pokestop heard our cries and didn't want to work against its user. Rahul, bosses are so important for Rahul in this matchup, so having those discarded from the Pokestop could be massive.
And that's just a pass. Whoa, no Archeops in sight. Oh, they're staying in their fossilized form right now. They are not coming out to play. And we move on to Stéphane's turn, going straight into the origin form. Palkia V-Star here. Stéphane's hand also not looking too hot, but we do have Trekking Shoes, we do have Pokestop. Let's see how Stéphane chooses to sequence this turn to perfection. Starting off with Greninja.
It was an interesting route with the Mirage Barrage from the Greninja EX that could take out the Iron Bundle and the Minccino in the same attack.
Oh, Mike. Mike, that is a filthy turn.
Yeah, you'll be able to get the Palkia V-Star Portal activated before you evolve the Froakie, as it's still a Water type then. And then once you evolve into Greninja EX, it becomes a fighting type attacker.
Here we are, top 10 villain of the year comes by. Pokestop, why? I mean, it's not that bad. We have Night Stretchers, but ouch.
Is there a Night Stretcher
I don't know if there's one. There is one in hand. There's one in hand. So the rare candy, the Night Stretcher, we get the Greninja. Now we need the energy, baby. But Palkia can help us out with that. Our good old pal, Kia. Helping us out. Get the energy on. Oh.
Well, trekking shoes. What have we got there?
I didn't see it.
The trekking shoes, so good for the consistency here. And
a lot of people kind of consider trekking shoes as like the 59th, 8th, 7th or 6th card of your deck, thinking actually it kind of just increases your consistency. Is literally walking you closer to the cards you need rather than the ones you don't need.
Yeah, it's a brilliant card to have in your deck, especially when you want to be motoring through it as fast as possible.
Oh, okie dokie. We're going for the Night Stretcher for the Dusknoir. Interesting.
That will be able to switch a new active in, so it's going to be putting that onto the Lugia V, and that will put the Greninja forward.
Oh, Mike, you were so close.
So wrong Greninja.
Wrong one. Wrong Greninja. The Radiant Greninja. He's so rad that he's Radiant. We're taking it even further.
I love the way the nest ball was grabbed off of that trekking shoes. You could see Stéphane working out how to get that nest ball active. And the Mew's so good in this deck because you see the hands get so small.
Masterful. Beautiful. I love it. And like you say, Rahul doesn't want to bench too many Pokemon right now because it just increases Stéphane's damage output. And that was the weakness of Origin Form Palkia for so long, was that your opponent could affect your damage output. No one wants that. You want to be in full control of your own damage output, not them.
Well, Radiant Greninja has been somewhat dormant in recent times.
Wow.
And it's nice to see Radiant Greninja attacking again with that Moonlight Shuriken. Such a powerful attack, especially when Lost Box and variants of the Lost Engine were so powerful. And there we go, Lugia V knocked out.
Woo!
And the Minccino. So 3 prize turn there for Stéphane Ivanoff.
Oh my.
Giving up 1 prize with the Curse Blast, but so powerful at this stage.
Honestly, that just puts Rahul on a massive back foot. Not only has Stéphane taken 3 prize cards to Rahul's 1, but also Rahul's going to need to now find those Archeops. Again, biggest traitor of the year 2024 is this Pokestop right there on your screens right now.
Pokestop.
I need to get a medal.
Creating highlights here, and that's going to be enough for Rahul to scoop up and go to game 3.
I don't blame him.
Pokestop taking away the options.
Honestly, Pokestop, I don't know who's the bigger villain at this point. Like, honestly, it's going for the best villain arc that I could ever think. 3 energy, including the legacy. It's really not spelling out good stuff there.
It's dictating the results of the game on its own.
It's crazy. I'm like, these are skilled players, but they're at this beck and call of these Pokestops right now. They are just showing us how far the game can go. But that's 1-1 to our players. Either of them could win it. We've seen the potential. Let's see this game 3 out, and let's see what the Pokestops let us do now.
This is the important one now. Rahul going first and setting up quickly will traditionally go very far ahead in every matchup.
Oh, yeah.
This one, it's very different because you've got so many comeback mechanics with the Dusknoir and also the ability to not trigger the gift energies. But last game, it was that Radiant Greninja that came in alongside the Curse Blast of Dusknoir to knock out a Lugia V, as well as the most threatening attacker of Rahul's deck in the Minccino.
Wow, and that Radiant Greninja going in for Moonlight Shuriken, an attack that we've seen so many times before, and yet it just kept going. And then the Pokestop just spelt the end when Rahul thought, you know what, no, this is not working out. I can't come back from this. That is too many energy, including my legacy. Let's round it up, and move along.
Well, these guys want to zoom into the final as they are progressing through this semi-final quite quickly as we start game 3 here. Plenty of time on the clock. The prize cards are up. Nothing too crazy. There was a Pokestop in there.
I'm hoping that's
Hold it
the
back.
one. That's the one. That's the naughty Pokestop. Stay in the prizes. Naughty
There's
Pokestop.
a Weird Deer in the active, not an ideal start.
No, Weird Deer is not ideal. Weird Deer's Frontier Road isn't really ideal. It can take some early game knockouts. You can utilize it. Its HP isn't bad, but it's just an awkward kind of blockade in the road almost. Instead of being a Frontier, it's kind of in the way. I'm sorry there, Weird Deer.
It's very much one you want to hold in your back pocket and bring it out later on. And I think it's one of those as well where we speak about the bench wanting to go wide for Palkia V-Star. By having the Weird Deer in play, you can't get rid of it. So it's going to be there adding damage to Stéphane's side. And just an attach and pass from Rahul. I don't think any Arceus to discard, just the Nest Ball played.
Just the Nest Ball for
So next turn will have to be quite explosive.
It looked like a couple of energy in hand, unfortunately, from Rahul. So we'll have to see whether that kind of continues to come through. In the meantime, over to Stéphane, and we've got a Buddy Poffin.
And with that Froakie, great little combo. Having Buddy Poffin and the rare candies already in the deck for the Duskull. Why not chuck in that Froakie? So going to be working out what the best 2 Pokemon to put down here would be.
Yeah, there's only a couple of Pokemon you can take with Buddy Poffin in this deck, though. I think it's literally just the Duskull and the Froakie. So maybe 2 Duskull, maybe a Froakie and a Duskull. I don't think there's anything else that they can take.
And there's only one in the deck. Thankfully, you have cards like Irida to find exactly what you need. So you can get an Irida that finds you the Buddy Poffin, that finds you the 2 less than 70 HP Pokemon you want. And as you can see there, Duskull and Froakie find the bench.
Yeah, Buddy Poffins are only for 70 HP or less. If you're over 70 HP, you're not allowed a Poffin. They are not for you. But a Nest Ball will summon Radiant Greninja back onto the bench, one of our strongest attackers last game, rearing its head once more.
I love the way Stéphane Ivanoff builds his decks, having all of these cards that are super consistent in your deck, like trekking shoes, like having those night stretchers to synergize well with the Pokestop, but then also having lots of one-off cards that can be tutored out through your other search to find a way to accelerate your board state into a more stable situation. As you see now, Duskull, Froakie, Radiant Greninja, Palkia, all in play. This is a great looking board for Stéphane.
And so cleverly constructed, as you say, Mike. So very well analysed there. And I like the early Radiant Greninja for being able to not only discard energy ready for Palkia's Star Portal, but also to draw you extra cards. It is a huge win-win situation. Looks like it's going to be an attach to the Origin Form Palkia V there. Might just be... Oh, I mean, it might just be an attack and that's it.
A little rule the region, maybe find one of those Pokestop for next turn.
Yeah, we haven't had a rule the region in a while over here. I don't think I've announced that attack myself since 2022.
Well, I dabbled with Palkia in 2023, so I had a few rule the regions here and there, but you seldom do it as you hope to go first in most matchups.
Yeah,
and so you don't normally get a chance to attack with the Palkia V before you evolve it. And you can see the top deck there from Rahul, I believe was an Ivanoff. And so we'll be able to progress through the deck, but you want to be discarding Archeops this turn. And Ivanoff is very much a card to see more cards, but you want to find ones that are a little bit better. So he's actually going to go for a boss's orders and try and stall
Oh,
it.
no, yeah, we're going to knock out the Duskull with Weird Deer. See, I told you Weird Deer could take an early game knockout. Not the most ideal use of it, but we can.
Wow, manual attachment to Weird Deer.
Yeah.
Very few cards in hand to really get going. So actually, this is an interesting early game. You know,
Yeah,
you can
we got a side shield bash. We weren't expecting to get bashy and smashy up in here.
Well, you did see Stéphane picking up that Weird Deer. I could probably guess he was looking at the weakness, trying to see if we could knock it out with a Greninja. So he's going to be trying to look for that rare candy in Greninja EX this turn.
Yep, so it does have the fighting type weakness. So Weird Deer being a colorless Pokemon sometimes can have different weaknesses, so it was definitely worth a check. But indeed, this Weird Deer is going to be weak to that Frokie's evolution. So can we find the big brother Greninja of Radiant Greninja, Greninja EX?
I wonder how many people thought we'd be seeing Greninja EX in our top 4 in Dortmund. A great card that no one really found the right deck to play it in. They tried to play it on its own, but actually it seems great as a little 101 line with Palkia.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that, this is the kind of deck that it really does synergize with, and I think it's because it covers its back, it covers its weaknesses. It really is the Pal to Palkia because it just does everything you need it to do with the resources that you've already got. You just have the water energy, you have the ability to get the Froakie, like you say, with the Buddy Poffin or the Irida. You're already running most of the cards you need. It's just the rare candy inclusion, which again, you want for the Dusk Noir anyway.
Flip the script. Is there a Greninja EX? There is.
Oh my goodness gracious, there's a Greninja, no.
Does he have the rare candy?
Oh my gosh.
Might have to get it through the trekking shoes as an INO in hand.
Oh, and we do have the one energy, so we're fine. We don't need Star Portal because Shinobi Blade will be enough.
We've got the Earthen Vessel trying to thin here. It might very well be a Trekking Shoes and a Pokestop to try and find a rare candy here.
That's still a good amount of cards. You're seeing 5 cards, and it might be enough.
This is tense right here.
Really
Rahul's
is.
struggling to get going with Lugia V-Star, but able to put some pressure on with an early knockout with Weirdeer. Now it's over to Stéphane to dig for that rare candy.
Honestly, this is looking like it could be the pivotal moment of this game. If Stéphane manages to knock out this Weirdeer, I think Rahul's going to have a struggle on his hands to pull it back.
Rare candy!
The trekking shoes!
Rare
Those shoes
candy.
were made for walking, and that's what they'll do!
And there we go. I think, did he discard it? Did he go for a different option?
No, it's right there. It's behind the Greninja.
Oh, was it?
No, it's behind.
Did he discard the rare candy
Wait,
there?
what?
My goodness, I thought this was the...
I'm confused. What's happened? Have we missed it? Is Stéphane being even more clever?
Is he trying to make sure to get the Lugia V at this stage?
Is there a... No. We Mirage barraging?
Oh, there was a rare candy in the hand already, I think. So we're going to be seeing a knockout here on the active and the bench Pokemon.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
Mirage Barrage. We haven't announced that attack yet today, but that will not only put damage on the active, knocking it out as the weakness is there, but it'll also set up that Lugia V for a potential knockout with either the Greninja or the Palkia V-Star.
So we've Star Portal to put 3 energy from the discard pile onto Greninja EX, attach for turn, because Mirage Barrage, you discard 2 energy from the Pokemon when you use it. So 2 more plus an attach for turn sets us up for another Mirage Barrage. The barrage is never going to end.
And that Lugia V is going to be stuck in the active. Oh, there's a flip the script. Rahul is going to have to restabilize here. A lot to be asked. 2 Archeops need to be discarded. We need to find a Lugia V-Star, and there's not really much of that going on in Rahul's hand right now.
And the Greninja has a gigantic 310 HP. Surely Rahul can't deal with that in one go. So it looks like we're going to minimize the impact of Stéphane's choices here. I think that's the route we're going to go with the INO attaching Legacy Energy to Lugia so that it only counts as 1 prize card, trying to slow Stéphane's barrage down.
Is that just more energy drawn off of that INO?
It looked like it, honestly. And now we're going to go with some more. We got some
Ultra Ball,
Archeops.
double Archeops off the flip the script.
That's what we wanted to see. And then we're going to go for a Lugia V-Star, and we can finally get rolling.
Wow, now we are back in the game.
Oh my goodness, that was a barrage of anxiety for me.
The flip the script seems to just draw everything you need. Serendipity EX, the MVP of recent times. And now we're going to have to see those come out onto the bench. And the question is, how do you get rid of this Greninja? Because that's still a threat in the active there.
It is. The only thing that is capable of taking a knockout like that in Rahul's deck is currently Chinchino. However, we can do our best to make this a meaningful KO. If our opponent is going to take out our Lugia, we want to gift energy on that, and we want it to be a single prize Pokemon. I think Rahul might be satisfied here with just doing some damage.
We've also got to bear in mind Serendipity EX, weak to fighting too. So Greninja EX could potentially take that out. We also have the resistance of Lugia being fighting. So a lot to think about in these mid-game changes of pace.
Honestly, this game has been so back and forth so far. I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm just shaking with anticipation. And there we go for the attack. Yes, of course, on Greninja EX.
Tempest Dive doing 200 damage thanks to that double turbo energy, reducing it. But realistically, it was just to soften up that Greninja EX and put it in range of most of Rahul's attackers. And now it's back to Stéphane. What can you do this turn to really put it back into your favor? You started so strong while Rahul was struggling, but Rahul has found it out of that situation. It's up to you.
It is, and so we're going to start putting the pressure back on. Here comes a Duskull to be hauntingly menacing on the bench there. A Mew. Yep, we're going for the Mew, making sure that our draw power is somewhat stable. Going in for the Iono, making sure that disruption is the aim of the game here. Will unfortunately be giving, obviously, his opponent some cards, but hopefully Stéphane gets whatever they're hoping for right now. Ooh, okay.
Okay, so we see Trekking Shoes, a great card to see off the back of an Iono. Allows you to dig a little bit deeper.
Okay, no to the heavy ball, but yes to an energy.
Got more draw with Greninja and potentially with the restart of Mew if you thin that hand down.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, so Mirage Barrage could KO, take one prize, deal some damage to an Archeops, but it doesn't KO it. Do we place damage on Pheasantipity maybe to take it out later with a Dusclops? There's so much potential, but no, we're gonna try and keep Greninja safe, and it's Palkia's turn to make some waves.
We'll be doing 220 damage on to the active Lugia V-Star. And that'll be a knockout there for just the one prize card because of the Legacy Energy. But now we'll have to try and find a way to get more options on board. Rahul only having the two Archeops and the Pheasantipity, a lot of cards to draw, but needs to find another attacker right now.
Yeah, the pressure's on. We really need to find an attacker that's going to be effective into this board. Now, Pheasantipity does have an attack. I know, shocking. But Cruel Arrow only does 100 damage to one benched Pokemon. That's not quite enough. For that Greninja, we would need another 10.
And might look back to that double turbo energy that was put onto the Lugia, reducing the damage by 20. The Greninja would be in range now of a Cruel Arrow. And the Capturing Aroma, you know, this is where you're starting to wonder, what attack do I need now? The Iron Hands, there's no Legacy Energy, but Rahul does play a Lightning Energy as well.
Yep, so there's potential there. We don't just have to rely on the Legacy Energy. Oh, there's a bear.
Yeah, there's a Blood Moon. Ursaluna was in the hand, the Iron Hands from the deck. Great attacker, especially towards the end game when you run out of energy for Lugia.
Absolutely, and you know, it's a good attacker. Even so, even if you have to use energy on the Blood Moon Ursaluna, it's still a really great attacker. Although it's nice when your energy kind of consumption is reduced by its amazing ability, it's still going to have less work to do than normal, and the Archeops can help out with the attack cost.
So just going to make a decision on this basic Pokemon from the Capturing Aroma, flipping a Tails. Looks like Luminion V is the preference, but just double checking. Show the discard pile. And there's, you know, the Minccino can be a great attacker. And I think the Squawkabilly would also just be a great way to thin your deck as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Making sure that when you're taking all of your cards off your gift energy and such, you're able to grab Pokemon that are going to benefit not being in the deck anymore. And it's a really great Ultra Ball target, so that if you don't kind of want to get rid of genuinely useful resources in your hand, you can go, okay, Squawkabilly, it's time to go. Your time is gone. Oh, here we go with the flip the script.
What you've drawn there looks like a Minccino, but you don't want to overbench because then that increases the damage output of Palkia.
Palkia just hitting too hard at the moment. Poor Pheasantipity only has 210 HP, which isn't going to be quite enough to keep going.
I mean, the Blood Moon Ursaluna at 260 HP is a great number when playing against Palkias. You just don't bench your full bench and they can't knock it out.
Absolutely. Okay, Ultra Ball.
Weak to fighting, though.
There we go, getting rid of a Lugia V, and of course the said Squawkabilly from earlier to go ahead and continue thinning the deck. Might take the Luminion now, may not use it yet, because again, you don't want to leave vulnerable two-prize attackers on the board too much. Pheasantipity already a bit of a liability, but like you say, Blood Moon Ursaluna's got that high HP to keep us going.
Yeah, when you start to look at it, there are so many fighting weak attackers and support Pokemon in Lugia V-Star. And that consequently means that Greninja EX is going to be the MVP potentially here for Stéphane.
Yeah, Greninja still going strong on the bench. Can't be hit by Cruel Arrow for knockout. 310 HP, people. And it's only taken 200 damage. We've got 110 left, which doesn't seem like a lot, but every damage counter counts right now.
And you see a glimpse of that Raikou V. Without the Legacy Energy in deck, you cannot accelerate to it from those Archeops as it's only special energy, but you can manually attach it. So the Raikou V is still an option in this matchup. Not right now, though.
No, indeed, not yet. Now, looks like we are going for an attach on the Pheasantipity. Pheasantipity has a retreat cost of 1, so whether some of this is going to be used or not for a retreat cost, we don't have a Thornton, so that can't be our play. I'm just curious of whether we're going to Cruel Arrow or whether it is going to be that Ursaluna.
Well, for Rahul, when the deck doesn't go well, this is where you really test a player. Lugia is one of the strongest decks when everything works, but when it's not working, only the best of the best find a way out of it. And I think that's what Rahul's trying to do now. Navigate a route to victory that isn't of the typical fashion. And a boss's orders onto the Greninja EX.
It's a very good attack, taking out Greninja EX with a Ursaluna, so we don't have to worry about that weakness anymore.
There we go. That could be a huge turning point. As we mentioned, Blood Moon Ursaluna, very big, 260 HP, out of range of a Palkia V-Star. And so the attacks now will have to go around that if Stéphane Ivanoff wants to try and win this.
Absolutely. So with Greninja out of the picture, it's going to be a good day to be Rahul ready. And there we go. We see the Minccino hit the bench. Ursaluna takes care of Greninja. And we're off to the races once again for Rahul ready.
And that free retreat of the Mew EX, a great way to start your turn. Find out all the information you need before you start making decisions, as there's going to be some tough ones at this stage.
Absolutely. Now it's again on Stéphane's feet to consider how we're going to bring this back. And as we follow suit, once again, flip the script.
What are we seeing off that flip the script? There's an Ultra Ball trekking shoes vessel, earthen vessel there.
Yeah, earthen vessel. So we've got a lot of options. We've got some plays. It's all going to be about how Stéphane chooses to sequence this turn to perfection. We can do some Dusclops shenanigans. We've got Palkia, Greninja, and we have, yeah, wow, there's just so much to consider, but we don't have Star Portal anymore.
And you've also got to consider if you ever take a knockout with the Dust Noir, you're reducing your bench size and your opponent's bench size, so that could majorly affect your Palkia V-Star's damage output. So having basic Pokemon to put down for Stéphane's going to be key here. And the gusting options are going to be key here as well. The Prime Catcher in there would be a great option. So there is a route to victory here for Stéphane. So keep your eyes peeled, watch the moves. Is it going to be happening now, or is it going to have to be a stabilization turn, take a knockout, maybe do it next turn?
Honestly, this back and forth is driving me crazy. There's so much to consider. And with the weakness element being taken away from Stéphane, from that really high vantage point of Greninja, it'll be so interesting to see how he manages to respond. And Rahul thinking, okay, this is probably the safest time for little Minccino to come down before it probably gets KO'd. So again, masterful plays, making sure that the Pokemon they need are safe and sound.
Ino and Nest Ball, Ino at this stage would reduce both players' hand size quite significantly. And trekking shoes, what are you going to find here?
Ooh.
Is that a Dusclops maybe? It looked like one of the evolution line. Didn't look like a Dust Noir.
I'm not certain. I don't think it was a Pokemon. Oh, it was. It was a Dusclops.
And there's a Dust Noir off the top.
Get out of here. That's amazing.
Well, the rare candies.
Oh, my gosh.
Now the next thing is, have you got a rare candy? There are 4 in the deck, so you've got to try and find one of those to get the Dust Noir down.
Oh, okay. We're still fishing around for that then. I suppose maybe that wasn't the best time, because if we Ino now, poor Dusclops is going to the bottom. We have Night Stretcher, though, in hand, so maybe put it in the discard pile? I don't know. There's so many choices.
Oh, if there's ever going to be a player who can navigate this scenario, the multiple North American International Champion winner, back-to-back North American International Champion winner, Stéphane Ivanoff, is the person to do it.
He certainly is, honestly. And here we go with a nest ball, thinning the deck, maybe getting another valid attacker. We can kind of get anything. Maybe we're going to see some very good choices from Stéphane as well. I don't know if it's a bit too early for that for Stéphane, but they do run the Ursaluna also, so we need to remember that play for later.
It's starting to get to that stage where I feel like Stéphane doesn't have enough to work out this turn-winning play. Maybe have to go for a way to do it next turn.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe we do go for it. Oh, he's being considered. Is he coming out to play? It's going to be a teddy bear picnic. Yes, it's bear time. Oh, I love Blood Moon Ursaluna. Great card. Absolutely amazingly versatile with its seasoned skill ability. Every time your opponent takes a prize card, this baby gets stronger.
Yeah, the amount of times we've seen Blood Moon Ursaluna take a knockout with 0 energy attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to that ability. So a great option and also a way to increase the damage output of the Palkia V-Star at this stage. Oh,
and don't forget that you can also use your Dusclops line to influence that ability. You can force your opponent to take prizes on advantageous turns for yourself to power up your big bear.
I'm intrigued now what Stéphane Ivanoff is thinking. Maybe looking to try and thin that hand down to get a Mew restart off.
Oh, okay, an Ultra Ball. Are we thinning? Are we going for the... I think we're thinning. I think, yeah, we're going for the Palkia. We're getting thinner. We're getting there. We've drawn as many cards as we can without the use of Mew thus far because we've flipped the script. We've concealed the cards. Next up, we're going to want to restart if we can. What's Stéphane looking for?
We've also got to look at the Ursaluna on the other side. It has just attacked, so the secondary effect of Blood Moon not allowing it to attack during the next turn will be a factor and potentially make it tricky for Rahul to get another big swing.
Here we go. Okay, yes, we're going into the Dusclops. Great. Ivanoff. Oh, I like this. Here we go. Popping Rahul down to 3 cards, making sure your opponent is low on resources. Maybe they'll try and dance around the gift energy. Maybe he won't. Oh, okay. Wow. I don't love that. I don't love that.
No, and I think that Dusclops is being put in play to allow it to be evolved next turn. And, you know, swinging into the active could be good here with the Palkia V-Star, because then it'll be in range of the Dusclops next time. But if we were to see Rahul take a knockout, then the Dusclops and Dusknoir Curse Blast would not be accessible, as there'll be 1 prize card remaining for Rahul. And so you cannot give away a prize card in that situation.
Stéphane has so much to think about right here, right now, because realistically, that Minccino is a problem. That is a problem waiting to happen. We really don't want to leave it there on the bench and like being ready to evolve and take out, well, probably this Palkia V-Star, right? The Ursaluna poses a threat still, but not an immediate threat, and really not one that needs to be worried about right now.
And with Lugia, Iono to 3, with no gift energy activation, no flip the script available, that is a lot of disruption. So Rahul's hand right now is tempting us. What have you got in that hand, Rahul?
Rahul, what have you got to show us? Have you got any gifts? No!
There's a Cinccino.
Oh, no.
And a
Luminion? And an Iono?
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Well, that's a lot of options.
No, that's too many options. Wow, that's crazy. That was an Iono for the ages. Going straight in with our 2 Archeops for 4 energy on our Cinccino. Wow, I like the disruption element with Lugia, saying, okay, I'm not going to take a knockout, so I'll disrupt because Lugia has inherently poor draw potential. But then just them getting it straight off anyway, absolutely insane.
To be fair, Rahul had a tough old start to this game with poor draw. And as the game has gone on, it's just got better and better. And this moment here for Rahul could be the game-winning moment, the route to the final for Rahul's first final at a regional level event to try and prove that his Lugia deck is more than capable of great success. And here we go, the knockout with the Cinccino.
Special roll, baby! We're rolling over Stéphane's board, saying goodbye, Origin Form Palkia V-Star. You may be a legendary, but I am the queen.
I guess if you get the knockout on it with the Blood Moon Ursaluna, then that could be too big for the return knockout. So maybe another disruption now could work really well for Stéphane. It's not over yet. There's still options available.
It's not, but Stéphane's potential of kind of bringing this back has been nullified extensionally by taking away the possibility of using the Dusclops. Dusclops is now offline. We are not able to use that unless they want to concede the game that way.
Well, these draws were not ideal for looking for an Ivanoff. It's going to be tough here. Maybe can start drawing a bit more with Radiant Greninja as well.
Maybe. We can use Blood Moon Ursaluna for 0 energy now. So Blood Moon Ursaluna is being used for full effect. And that might be enough, but we need to deal with the Chinchino. We can't be leaving that around. Too powerful. There's not another one. But then if you take too many prize cards, it's going to be too easy for Rahul to come back with their own Blood Moon Ursaluna that's still on the bench.
The advantage is with that Blood Moon Ursaluna being left in the active is it's out of range of everything on board for Rahul, but then we know there's that Luminion in hand.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right.
So we have to see disruption now.
Gosh, this is getting very, very down to the wire. It's anyone's game still right now as we concealed cards.
What have we seen there? There's a switch
And I believe it's Dust Noir. That's not particularly helpful, unfortunately. Do we risk the Pokestop at this stage? Is it too risky? It's been a horrific betrayal card the entire set so far. Okay, yep.
Always going to evolve it. Just get it out of your hand.
Yep, give that some high HP. Let's do it. Rahul only has 1 prize card left to take, so might as well make it a little bit tougher by going, okay, well, this has the lowest HP, so.
Here we go. Rare Candy, Ivanoff, and Prime Catcher. They would be great if that's what you're looking for, but it was the Ivanoff that was needed. And I think in that situation, Stéphane, if it Pokestopped first and then used the Radiant Greninja afterwards.
We might have got it then. You're so right.
And that's always the tough situation.
You never know.
You don't want to discard it with Pokestop, but then you also knew it was near the bottom of your deck. But you had such a big hand, and oh, that is tough.
There's so much to consider, and sequencing these turns is so tough because you just don't know what the right order is at all. And I think that might be it. I don't think that there might possibly be any way for Stéphane to come back now. Rahul needs 1 singular prize card, and although they can't Cruel Arrow for that anymore, the Blood Moon Ursaluna can easily have more energy piled on it by Archeops, take a knockout, game over.
Well, Stéphane Ivanoff might just look at this board here and go, well, if I knock out the active, there's a chance that Rahul doesn't find a boss's orders. We're a bit fortunate here. We know what's in that hand, so we know it's possible. But that is the only out, it feels like, for Stéphane at this stage.
It does. And I'm not sure there's any way to get there now. Just consulting the discard piles. They've got to go for any out at this stage.
Do you go for the knockout on anything other than the active? I mean, that's such a big threat, the Chinchino. I think this is just debating whether to maybe use Counter Catcher and Prime Catcher to thin them out of the hand. Okay, well, Counter Catcher is active as Rahul's on 1 prize card, 3 for Stéphane. And just making sure this is a really important turn right here.
Is the crucial turn.
It could
and
dictate.
We need to build up that tension because it is going to dictate
the finalist. Whichever one of these comes out on top right now will be going through to the final. There's Stéphane looking to bring the Blood Moon Ursaluna into the active and disrupt, recognizing that energy needs to be going onto it, and that will be now energy from deck. Rahul trying to take the knockout. Is there energy in deck? There isn't.
No, there is no energy in deck, so the disruption was successful. Ursaluna stuck in the active. Luminion down. Have we got a supporter that can help us? Professor's research.
There is a jet, so you can use the jet to find a new active, but you cannot get that from the Archeops. There wasn't enough to get the 3 retreat cost of the Blood Moon Ursaluna.
There's 3 jet energy on the Chinchino. Is there 1 in deck?
1 in deck.
Oh, heck yeah, let's go. Here we are, Mezagoza, see if we can thin. We can't thin. Nope, nope, nope. Give it a good shuffle.
It's going to be a draw for that jet energy.
Oh my gosh. I'm on the tip of my toes. Professor's research, let's see them.
There it is.
Oh, there's a jet energy. Lugia summoning his lucky stars to victory.
Rahul Reddy is making his way to the first regional level final here in Dortmund, all the way from North America. It's his time to shine.
It very much is, and shine, Lugia, shine. A deck we've seen do phenomenally in previous formats, but it's not over yet. Rahul, congratulations, moving on to our finals, our first finalist of the first European regionals of the season.
And of course, Stéphane Ivanoff, what a play. You could see the genius behind him in those final turns, looking like there was no way to get back into it, but recognizing those outs in the final moments. A historical player, one who's won many tournaments, trying to make it again here in Dortmund, but just falling short, making a top 4, though, of the first event of the circuit here in Europe. That's going to be a great way to solidify him at the top of the leaderboard.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. It's all about that leaderboard now. Whoever wins this, absolutely, auto-invite to the World Championships. But getting up to these high placements will make or break your stance on that leaderboard for the rest of the season. And this is going to be a very strong start for Stéphane, no matter what. And I'm so pleased to have seen that match come out into fruition, seeing the amazing Greninja and its ninja skills, and using both of them as well.
I mean, I just love the way he builds his deck. Stéphane is such a creative player, and consequently, you get to see very creative play. And this is how the match went down. A very quick first game and a very quick second game, and it was just due to this explosive start of Rahul with the amp you very much.
Yeah, we amped for 3 prize cards. You don't get to see that very often, Mike, because a lot of people have found lots of ways to avoid that happening. But here we go. We see the scoop. It just wasn't going to be possible. We pick up our cards and move on to the second game, where Stéphane had the flurry of fantastic blows in the early game.
Oh, look at those poker stops being so mean at the start of this game after being so kind in the first games of Rahul. And it was in the second that Stéphane came out on top, and Rahul recognized it was game 3 he needed to win it in, but started so slow using that Weird Ear.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, Weird Ear just didn't put in enough work. Frontier Road wasn't able to be activated. Side Shield Bash did take a KO, but not a meaningful one, as Froakie was able to evolve into the fantastic Greninja EX and take not only a knockout, but also deal some meaningful damage on the bench to the Lugia V.
Yeah, those rare candies were coming through, and Stéphane was able to evolve multiple Pokemon to their stage 2, but it was Palkia V-Star that came through and got a few knockouts, and in the end, it was the bear.
It was all about the bear. Honestly, putting in so much work. Ursaluna showing that it is a force to be reckoned with. Both players played one, but one bear came out on top.
You could see the thought from both players there, clutching their heads as they're trying to work out how to do it. And you saw those 3 jet energies on the Blood Moon, on the Chinchino, and there was one left in deck in the end that was able to get Rahul out of this stalling play from Stéphane, where he recognized a few energy missing, and it meant that the jet energy was the only way.
What I'm hearing is make sure there's some jet energy in your binders, kids. My word, because that really was the last piece of the puzzle. The professor's research drawing us into it. 3rd card in, and that was the game that set it all into motion. And now we have our first finalist.
Wow, you could see the relief on Rahul's face after that, because that was testing him. And that's what he's found at these events. Not only is he coming through and winning all of these games, but he's being tested along the way. And that's the sign of a true top player, is when they're able to break through despite